Welcome to Native Wellness Institute's Wellness Wednesday. Nistu Nidaniko Mokoyo Sokoi Nistu Sixakeatapi. I'm coming to you live from Blackfoot Confederacy territory. I'm right where that mountain is called Divide Mountain, and right over to the left there is Triple Divide, where the 26 glaciers are melting right now, and you can see the water behind me is fresh glacier water. You can drink it. You don't have to even have a bottle of water. So welcome to Native Wellness Institute's Wellness Wednesday. We come to you with positive, productive, and proactive just dialogue. And so I'm just excited. I'm excited. We were up late last night. At the beginning, we had 58 people running, and I think we got down to maybe 50 something for 5 slots for the Blackfeet Tribal Council. And that was beautiful because it was true democracy in action. And by true democracy is we let the people decide. Everybody, number one, had a choice to vote. But I want to say the healing issue here is we have 18,000 enrolled members and we have 20,000 descendants. That means they have a quarter blood or less, or they have other tribes in them. And the descendants cannot vote. And so we're in a process of change, because I think our constitution can be changed, and the new tribal council coming on board are going to weigh all the constitution, the referendums, the talking to the people, and the people that are alive and have a voice. Now remember, this is a voice. In a democracy, if you just sit back and do not vote, if you just sit back and you don't take action, you are not part of the democratic process, our process. So remember that. So, and if you don't vote, you can't bitch. But I swear everybody was just so kind to each other. There was not a competitiveness. There was no childish behavior. Everyone went and voted yesterday. So that's, I might be kind of sleepy-eyed because I don't stay up past 10:30, I practice wellness. But what happened was, we had to have all the precincts come in. And of course, Bab, where I live, I'm a Babylonian. I was born and raised in Heart Butte, but been living here 30 years. And so I had to just listen. And as I was listening, I was praying, and it made me cry. Because each name I heard, each was a Blackfoot name or a Blackfoot family. I'm Scoppy Picani. And we do have others that are, we mated with crows. Hey. Yes, Blackfeets made babies with crows, and Blackfeets made babies with Métis, and Blackfeets made babies with Salish Kootenai, and yes, Blackfeets made babies with the Assiniboine, and yes, Blackfeets made babies with white clay people, and that's why we're just so damn good looking. We just mate with everybody, eh? Anyway, I think it's funny. So we have a lot of our beautiful, cherished children have a lot of tribes in them. And some even have some European blood, including me. I'm part Neanderthal and I have some European blood, and I'm proud of it. I'm part Neanderthal and I'm part white, but I can't prove it. Anyhow, while all this mating was going on, which is just love. I mean, just making love, snagging around at springtime. And we have different rules, I guess. Snagging rules. So What are your snagging rules? Because we have, it's okay to snag on North American Indian days. It's okay to snag at Sixikai during their Indian days. It's okay to snag during Kainai Indian days. And a Butsapikani, eh? So, and then it's okay to go to Rocky Boy and snag during their Indian days. And it's okay to go to Salish Kootenai at Polson and snag during their Indian days. And then you can go down to Upsalaga Crow and it's okay to snag during their Crow Fair. Let's see. Anyway, and there's a whole bunch of powwows coming up July 4th. You guys are all welcome if you want to come to this lake. It's oh no, it costs $5 a car to get in because it pays for manpower, having all the veterans, and it's a beautiful all international, all the veterans from Canada, all the veterans from all of the tribes, and the Blackfeet veterans will be sponsoring that with manpower. And they're inviting all the Siksikatepi, all the veterans from Siksikai, Kainai, Apatsapikani, and Amskapi Pikani can come July 4th. Chewing Black Bones. It's straight across the lake here. I'm kind of on the Indian side. So I'll just to, for those of you, welcome. This is our land. And I just love it. I'm out here and I'm headed to Rocky Boy. So tomorrow, Native Wellness Institute will be doing a healing from trauma. Trauma, like snagging too much. If you snag too much, you get trauma. but at least you're having a good time, eh? Anyway, I'm headed over there. In all seriousness, the Stone Child College is having a training on how families can heal from the last 100 years of the not so good stuff, toxic stuff, and then how they can break the cycle and their families can have all long healthy lives and not be ODing from fentanyl and not be committing suicide and not be snagging toxically. Snagging toxically, yay, because if you get caught snagging with some Indians, it could become very lethal. And some, they just don't care. Anyway, they usually don't care when they're in the process. And as a recovering person, for the grace of God, there go I. For the grace of Ishtapatapio, there go I. I try not to judge, but geez, it's funny as heck when you see some of the behavior and you know it because you used to do it. I used to do it. Anyway, there's something called mature spiritual discipline, where you might feel like snagging, but you don't. You might see someone where the chemistry is just so strong, you want to throw them down and jump their bones, but you don't. It's called discipline, spiritual discipline. Anyway, you probably don't want to hear about that. You just want to hear about snagging. So anyway, I just wanted to visit with you today about, again, lateral kindness and lateral forgiveness. So I have a short story, if it's okay with you, I'd just like to share with you. I have some Cree relatives. Yes, Blackfeet have Cree relatives and they're Cree friends. And Cree friends have some Blackfoot relatives. So, well, my longtime friend we were teenagers together, Peggy Aquino. And she was a St. Pierre or La Pierre from Rocky Boy. And we grew up together. Her mother, Mary, I think Mary's like 92 and my mom's like 86. They were the activists in the 70s and the 80s. They helped write and contributed to the Indian Child Welfare Act. They helped contribute to the Indian Religious Freedom Act. They helped the boats take over Alcatraz. That was in their day, but me and Peggy, we were just teenagers and we were raised old school, so we never questioned our parents, our mother, our father, especially our mother, because our mothers are both still alive. And so Peggy and I just remember we were part of their activism when Stanford Powwow became Sober Powwow. When Casa de Fruta, which is a powwow, it was the first sober encampment. All the teepees were put up. They had a 5K. They had a bunch of feeds, and all the at that time the 12 treatment programs in California came. So those of you who are just getting sober, learn your history, and learn to not repeat the bad stuff and to break the cycle and just do the good stuff. So anyway, the story I wanted to share with you is, I remember Peggy and I, because we had to, this whole area at Casa de Fruta, that's where avocados and everything is, man, it's just rich, because that is the valley where you can grow anything. It's also the valley where, all of our technology started in that valley. Even from, IBM to before Apple, after Apple, pre and post Apple. But I'm going to stick to the Indian stuff. So, I remember Peggy and I, because our mothers, they had an area for the sober powwow, and so they built a fence. And I remember Leon Chief Falk and all the veterans that had gotten sober in the 70s or the 80s. That's like a long time ago. And there's some of them are still here. Did you ever notice sober people last longer? And the other ones, they just die. No. So if you're dead, that's too bad. You should have got sober. But go ahead if you want to party and just snag. It won't end up good, I promise you. So Peggy and I, what I wanted to share with you is, and I'm just feeling happy. So it's where our humor is a little bit twisted and wicked. Is we had to help build that fence, and I remember it was so hot, and we had fence posts, and my boyfriend at the time was Thomas Trimble, and I remember, I don't know if her and Domi hadn't got together yet, and he's Filipino, so her children are Indipinos, half native and half Filipino, which is common along the coast, and common with Filipino people, because we get along. What is, Gene Tagabon says, he's part Cherokee too, so he likes to have cornbread with his salmon and rice. We like to have all that stuff. So the story is, is Peggy, okay, so her grandpa, and and I think I gotta look for that picture. Her grandpa was a baby born that had, at that time, was the smallpox epidemic at Rocky Boy in that area. And when her grandfather, and I'll post the picture because there's the picture of him, and then Mary, who was 92, was his youngest child, and it has the other children and the old grandma in there. But he was a child, and the smallpox was so rampant, they had to sacrifice whoever had smallpox. They had to separate them from the encampment. So think about that for a moment. If they were infected with something that would threaten the entire tribe, you had to separate them. Ooh, that's a tough one. So, your active fentanyl users and fentanyl distributors, we're going to have to separate them. For a time. They can come back once they get into recovery, because there is redemption and reconciliation. So her grandfather, they could not, when he was born, he got infected with smallpox. So it was, and I don't want to, these are hard words, a mercy kill. They left the baby because he was infected by smallpox in the wilderness. But obviously it's their grandfather. He didn't perish and he didn't die. And he was left, and and he was probably crying because babies. I love babies. They said they communicate so well, and just how to comfort them, and how to take care of them and cherish them, and that's what we have to do in that first 5 to 7 years, is just make a safe place for children, a very safe place, and then the rest will be taken care of, because once they know safety and they know how to self-regulate, then they can live life good. So what happened with her grandfather, and the story I wanted to share with you, is a pack of wolves found him. They heard him crying, and they came, and nature just doesn't, in most of nature's balance, they just don't kill babies, unless they like veal. Europeans like veal. They just kill those little cows, calves, just kill. Ooh. Anyway, so they took care of the grandfather, and they fed it. They must have cleaned it. A pack of wolves. And so as he grew, he only knew how to communicate in wolf. Arr! That sounds like a snagging song, eh? Arr! Arr! Anyway, they found him as a young boy, and he was wild. But they brought him back into the humans, and he looks just like his relatives, so they didn't have to do no DNA. Because with real Indians, you just look at them like, me, I'm a bull shoe, got a big butt, and I'm bossy, and I got a bull shoe nose, and I look like Aunt Cecile Russell, and I look like my Mary Cecilia Rebus. I look like Melinda Kipp. I look like Natua Pisaki, Carol Murray, because we all look like this. So they looked at him, and Grandpa, they recognized that it was the little baby that they had left and had returned. And so he was special, because he knew not only how to communicate in human, he knew how to communicate in wolf, our imita, our dog, Mokoyi. And so he became a special person. And I wish, I'm going to look for that picture. I'm heading over there right now, and that's why I'm coming to you a little bit early for Wellness Wednesday. So welcome to Native Wellness Wednesday. It's our power hour that we started when the pandemic started, and we had 7 days, 5 days. Now we do it every Wednesday, and we do it for free. It's our, on a personal level, it's my give back. You can't keep it unless you give it away. My qualifier is I have over 50 years in Alateen and Al-Anon, and then I got intervened on my own goddamn drinking 36 years ago, and my family intervened on me and threw me in the Betty Ford Center treatment program. And I was such a punk. I was just a punk addict. I lasted 77 days, but I drank again, and it was just pitiful. So I put myself in treatment over 36 years ago, and I've been clean and sober since. But remember, I'm working on it daily. Mike Duncan, who comes to you with Native Dads Network every Tuesday, I'm so grateful that I do my best to just live one day at a time. Just this 24 hours. And that I take things as they come. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change. So I can't change the weather. Oh no, I can't. I'll just sing a song. I gotta accept things I can't change. And I can't change other people's addiction. I can just love them from afar. Now remember, you can't change them. I learned that with my own daughter after 30 treatment programs that I put her in. But what I learned is I still go to ceremony, I still pray, for her. And she's still alive. She's in prison right now because of her own addiction. And I'm gonna go visit her. So say prayers for me. But this the story I wanted to tell you with Peggy Aquino. We have been friends since we were teenagers, and I'm 68 years old. And so I'm heading that way. And so I messaged her because I wanted to go see her and her husband Domi. He used to come up here and ride for Casa. They would ride bikes from park to park from here to Yellowstone. And right over here would say a prayer for all those bikes. But he doesn't, we're getting older and we don't do risky things. Except me. Anyway, I would, those tears. Tears, the makeup of when you're crying is a different kind of tear. I just love it. So I messaged her and I said, coming your way. I'm working at Stone Child tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some healing from trauma and breaking cycles and moving on at the college because they requested me to come over there. And I like to do these kind of jobs where you just facilitate healing, because I guess that's part of my gift. And most of our team, that's our gift, facilitating healing. So I sent her a message, and long story short, she goes, "Oh, I'm out in California with my mom, with her mom Mary." And she goes, and we used to always say that my house is your house, mi casa, your casa. And she goes, she could get her son to come and let me in or leave the key. And so, you know what, I thought, well, I'll see a bunch of Rocky Boy, and I've said my prayers. So I said, I'd rather stay at your house than a hotel. So that's the story I wanted to share with you today. So I'm just headed out. I'm going to throw the suitcase in the war pony, and I'm going to head towards Rocky Boy. And we're in this day and age, I remember I'm saying this story because a couple years ago when my Ocon iron pipe was really ill, when Ocon was getting ready to die, Peggy and Domi had come over and I needed to go to work because I was looking for people who could understand dogs, talk to wolves, talk to dogs. And they said, well, we'd love to stay at your place. We love your place and we'll watch Ocon. And they did. They took care of him. They gave him his meds at that time and they fed him, and they had a wonderful time. And so now we're reciprocating. They stayed at my place. I'm gonna go stay at their place. And I had to go on work, so they were at my place all by itself. But I was laughing with Mom this morning because Domi is like one of, I love men like that. He had to fix my vacuum cleaner and vacuum the house, and then he started fixing things around the house because that's what Domi does. He's just like, oh, I guess I'll fix that, they just took care of the house in a really good way. And when I came back, it just made me cry because we have no shame between us. And I'd like to say a couple things, when you have shame, well, there's no shame, because like I live kind of rustic. I live way out in the woods in a log cabin, burn wood, and it's not really fancy. I mean, I got Wi-Fi and I just like to live like that. I mean, I go out, I stay at, half my life is in hotels. I stay at all these places, but I really love my home. I love to sleep. I dream good here. And so I just was thinking, so that's my story. And I share that because who are your friends? And it's better to have friends than a caseload, eh? So if your friends are just people you're rescuing and, giving advice, knock that bull off. You got to get some friends where they give you as much as you give them. I'll repeat that. You got to find friends where they give you as much as you give them. And I tell you, it's just like today, now I'm totally trusted in traveling. I'll get to stay. They have a beautiful home. Domi put them up on a hill, and They have all the amenities, but they have the best view, and I guess that's where the Sundance Chief Stick in that area. His name was Chief Stick, and that meant the center pole. That old man, we used to go camp on Katoyis. They call it Sweetgrass Hills, but it's actually Sweet Pine, Katoyis, and we used to go camp up there with him. But right where all those Rocky Boy, right there, all those holy people, that's where I'll be sleeping tonight. So I'm just really looking forward to it. And so let's talk a little bit about developing new friendships. Start today. Start today. Give people a chance. So everyone has changed during this pandemic and during these times. Give them a chance, and meet them where they are, and shake their hand. Yesterday, all I did was hug people, and we all were here to vote. Some drove from Missoula because you have to come home to vote. Some drove from Seattle. Some drove. And they drove home because they believed in the democracy. Even off-reservation Indians should be able to say something about their reservation because that's your ancestors' place. And so making new friends, tomorrow I'm going to go with an open heart. And the younger people, I'm listening to them. I'm just shutting up and I'm listening. Because they have a lot of good ideas, these younger. And I'm talking, under 40. Because when you're under 40, my mom always said the first 40 you learn how, and the next 40 is what counts. And boy, is that the truth. So tomorrow, I'm going to make new friends. And today, I'm going to make new friends. I don't even know if I go towards Havre, some of my friends say, you better watch out, just, we just say, be cautious. Indian woman is vulnerable in Montana. So this making new friends, I'm just gonna put out that energy. And I was laughing with yesterday because, and I guess I was with Leon Rattler and Steve Barrios and my mom and my sister, and we were all. My sister had made some homemade peanut butter cookies, and of course they were stuff them in their pockets. And Mom was making homemade beans and putting a little bit of hamburger in there. It was like we were just visiting, and Steven's 72, and I think Leon's 72, and I'm 68. So we're old G's. But we were, and this is the humor. These are my friends forever. When we have a disagreement, we work it out, or we give it some time, or we communicate. We apologize, but we're right in the process, and I'd like to ask you for your prayers because we're gonna be transferring a Kami Poismanix, a stand-up headdress, to Steve Barrios, and so, and Leon's going to make it because Leon's Skapi Pikani, I'm Skapi Pikani, and, Steven, his mom was born in 1908, right over there, in Bab. She's a Wren, W-R-E-N, and so they were, but they were they have a different communication as two male members, and, both recognized for all their accomplishments. So Leon asked Steven, he said, well, what are your colors? Because, we had all the eagle feathers, the ermine, and the red wool felt cloth. And then my mom said, well, look at how Steven's dressed. And so we all looked down at his hokas. His hokas were these different colors. There's his colors. His headdress has to match his hokas. And then he had on red. So anyway, we were laughing because they were being funny but being serious. And then they were being humble. Steven said to Leon, he said, I trust you. however you design it. And then, but Leon, he's an artist and he wants to get the essence of that person. Anyway, they were talking real serious, and this is what Mom said. Because Leon listens, they all listen to Mom. And so so Mom said, "Hey, Leon, Leon." And when she went like that, Leon just, "Yes, Betty," she said, "Can you put Wi-Fi in Steven's headdress?" So, can you put Wi-Fi in his headdress? Because they were talking about, when it's scratchy inside, they can put the felt inside the headdress. And anyway, it was just really quick. And I thought, wow, I'll have to think about that because, here I am way out here. As long as you got an iPhone. Oh, it sure is pretty. I'm just going to take a moment and let you make a new friend with this lake. Making new friends with water. Thank you for the hearts, and thank you. Making friends with, because I was going to jump in this morning, but I had to take care of a few things since I'm traveling over to Rocky Boy. I like to say Rocky Boy. When you're making new friends, you gotta spend time with each other. I was going to jump in the lake because I started jumping in now, and I usually jump in till last time around October, right before it gets freeze up. And every day when I'm home, I jump in here. So talk to your friends every day. I have a very good friend, and we talk to each other almost every day, early in the morning. We haven't seen each other in person in a while, but we talk to each other every day. And we get to, so talk to your friends, whether it's romantic or communicate with them. And it's just as simple as calling them up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Or, "I was thinking of you. How are you doing?" And listen and communicate so that they have a safe place to talk and you have a safe place to talk. I was just thinking about say prayers for my friend Deb Pace. She just had a knee replacement. She's just healing up really good. But it's about, not too far, a little over an hour that way in Lethbridge. So when I get back, I'm going to travel up there and go see her. And but our conversation, and this is our friendship over time. We've been friends, I want to know, these last 30 years, pretty tight. And so she was talking to me about, when I got my knee replaced and how long. And so I shared, the healing time. But I also shared with her, and I'll just share this with you, pain meds are something that should never be given to an addict. It's like giving Dracula the key to the blood bank. So I told her, I said, because I'm in recovery, I gave my pain pills to my family, to my mother, and let them administer it. And it was actually my sister Lori, and I love Lori for doing this, because when we came home, she came in and she goes, "How are you feeling? How are you doing?" And I go, "Wow, Lou, I could see with that Oxycontin," and I think that's what they gave me. I could see how heroin addicts like that feeling. So she grabbed she grabbed those pills. She told me, she goes, "We don't need this evil in our family." And she ran out and she buried it somewhere. But when she was running out of the room, the addict in me would say, "I might need those," but I didn't. I started crying because someone loved me that much. And then I just took Tylenol from then. So I shared that story with my friend Deb, that, just go as quickly as you can just to the Tylenol and icing and then doing the physical therapy. Anyway, so that's say the prayers, and so because I remember going to meeting 12 step, and you'll hear someone, yeah, I had 25 years, and then I started taking pain pills, and then it's all over for them, because you shouldn't be in charge. That's why you need a fellowship, and that's why you need people to that love you to administer them, because yeah, we have medicinal. Now, isn't that funny? Because like, what if this medicinal marijuana, what if only your family administered it? Ooh, there'd be some fights going on in Indian country, right? Anyway, because there is medicinal. Yes, I do. There is medicinal, but it needs to be administered by a team. And that's, this friendship. We're inviting you. Native Wellness Institute is having our healing together on Bainbridge, June 11th, 12th, and 13th. And we're at capacity, but we can still squeeze some more Indians in, because how many Indians can you squeeze in a car? How many Indians can you squeeze on a ferry? So we're just inviting you. The American Cancer Association will be there, Native Dads Network, Al Pooley's, yes, Al Pooley's, Native Fatherhood and Families, yes, they'll be there, and then White Bison, Qatari, and the whole gang's gonna be there, and then of course Native Dads Network, and Native Dads Network is bringing up 43 feather dancers, and then Suquamish is we're taking everyone out in a canoe to pull. It's just, we'll be singing and we'll be healing. We'll have Healing Village. We'll have speakers. We'll have talking circles. We'll have body workers. Monique is going to be there. Oh, she's the best. She gets all that trauma and mental. She gets it out of your body. And we have so many. And Clayton Smiles coming. And Sharon Day is coming. I mean, I swear to God, it's just like such happiness. So Healing Together is going to be happening at the House of Awakening on Bainbridge, which is Suquamish. And so please come and join us. It's the 3rd annual, because it has to do with friendship. We don't want to compete anymore. We're friends, and we're coordinating with each other. So I guess I'll share one more story. I was, in that election last night, and I come from the Bullshoe family. Joseph Bullshoe, born, around 1880s, and Cecile Russell. They got married, and they had 17 live births and 13 lived, but were Bullshoes. So we come from Joseph and Cecile Russell Bullshoe. But last night in the election, at least 5 descendants were Bullshoe. And they got selected in the primary, because that for the 5 slots, there's 2 in each. And so this morning I was texting with Susan Weber, who is one of them. She's our House representative in the Montana State Legislature. And Terry Tatsy was one, and Cleo Main, and then Christy Bullshoe. So we were just texting, and so this is, cousins, because I got a lot of cousins, 55 first cousins, 100 second cousins, and thousands of third and fourth. Anyway, I said, well, instead of competing, why don't we have just one big feed and we all contribute? And like in the old days, the ones that were voting for, they could have a horseshoe contest. Because sometimes that's how they used to settle things, and still remain friends, not carry grudges, and not be, upset with each other because you got more votes than they got. And anyway, I put it out there, and Susan said, cool! What a cool idea, where we just all bring our food, and yeah, you guys will let, because we believe in democracy. And it's a bigger, I'm just a practicing speaker, but we believe in the people, we the people. So what if we all just came together and ate, and, for fun, let them play horseshoes. And then let each person have their own integrity, their own privacy when they go to vote on the last Tuesday, which I think is June 25th, and we elect the new 5 leaders to go with the other 4 leaders and become our Blackfeet Tribal Council. So think about that. What about if you had friends that thought fairness, that you had friends that thought social justice, that you had friends who think in equity, that you had friends who want to hear you out, hear all sides, and have reconciliation instead of punk ass attitudes of passing judgment and deleting you. You can never snag good if you just delete everybody. Oh, I'm just teasing. But think about this friendship, where if you do have a disagreement, you listen to their side and walk in their shoes with their lens, and not be looking through that shame trauma lens where the shame takes over. Because people that hold grudges and resentments, it's shame that's holding them back. Wow, shame has a lot of power, and we don't need to let it. They have in program, they say if you don't like someone, and if it's even to an enemy status, or to not liking them. And this is hard because they'd say pray for them for 15 days straight in a row. And I have to admit, I have not prayed for that orange guy once. One time I did during the pandemic, when he told me to drink Clorox bleach. I was like, oh my God. So I just, but try your best. And, even with your exes, all your exes from Gallup, pray for them. The ones that you didn't get along, pray for them. And next time you see them, just treat them hospitable. But with your friends, pray for each other. And so I just ask you, in friendship, in that friend, that magic space where you have total trust, and you can vent, and you can laugh, and you can have fun. I have a little relative from the Weatherwax family. And so Sheila, the mom, I met them yesterday because they came up to vote, and he's a teenager going to high school at Great Falls High School, and they fundraised, and he's taking a trip to Washington D.C. And so I started talking to him. I go, well, what's your purpose of going there? And because here I am in my adult mind, are you going to go visit the African American Museum? Are you going to go visit the American Indian Museum? Are you going to go? And he turns to me and he said, our purpose? To have fun. And I go, ooh, he slapped me good. His purpose to go to Washington D.C. is to have fun. So I just loved him. We kept hugging him, 3 or 4 hugs, and I just told him some of the things that I've done in Washington D.C. that I really liked and enjoyed. And then I told him to tag me and have his mom tag me, because I want to see all his pictures of having fun. So I guess that's in kind of winding down, the people that you have fun with, there isn't that weird energy. Those are your friends. But everyone can be your friend. It's just like, with a animal, I think Okon Ironpipe's adopted father, Sam Ironpipe, was an abused Karelian bear dog. And it took 6 months before he'd let me touch him. And I fed him, and then he became one of my most protectors, saved me from bears, did all kinds, protected. He became my friend. Animals can become your friend. There's a great show called The Dog Men, and it's out. It's early access, but it's in the theaters, and it's about becoming friends with dogs. And you get to, in Blackfoot, we could talk to dogs and they could talk to us, and that was taken away when the one dog told on the moon having an affair with the snake man, and so it's some so they can't speak. We can't speak, but we still can. Think about that. The With friendship, it's telepathic. Because I swear, having this whole thing, with me and Peggy, even though she's in California and here I am in Bab, we were telepathic this morning, and we just figured out everything, we're still friends. And my sister said, wow, that's true friendship. I go, I know, we've been friends since we were teenagers, and it will be that way. And now, she's taking care of her mom, we take care of our mom, our fathers are gone. We will have that friendship always. So it's that spiritual connection in friendship that to have fun with. And so that today, welcome to Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institute. We have a lot of positive things going on. Our executive director, I'll have to invite her to come on next week, because we'll be out there, because she was just involved in a case with NICWA in the whole Portland area, around Indian child welfare implementation. I don't know all the details, but I'd rather there's been a victory and thank you, Jolene Joseph, because all our, on our team here, we're all friends. Our board are friends, our consultants are friends, our staff are friends, because we constantly work on communication. We constantly are creative with each other. We constantly are developing new things. We're taking risks. And so think about, as you get into the summer months, because we'll be around a lot of our friends we haven't seen, or we'll be making new friends. And so I'm gonna leave you today just some thoughts, around stories of resiliency, stories of coming back from, like Peggy's grandfather being raised by wolves. And Nistu Mokoyo Sekoyi, my second Blackfoot name is because I had a dream of shape-shifting into a wolf. So I was renamed. And I appreciate, and those rites of passage. So this summer too, all of you, raise your hand if you haven't got your Indian name, or all your grandchildren, or all your children, or all your friends, get their Indian names, this summer. There's going to be a lot of festivity, a lot of opportunities for prayers and for those rites of passage. Last year we had all kinds of weddings. Might be time to tie the knot to make that vow. It might be time to do other honor, all the graduations. Look at all the celebratory, the beadwork, all of the honorary PhDs, all of that. We need to have good fun and celebration in these upcoming months. And so as I sit here, I can feel the wind and the sapu, the wind's just blowing, and doing the breathing. It just feels so good. Spend some time in nature. Take off your shoes. Walk on the earth, or put on your hokas and walk everywhere. I was in Missoula, hats off to Montana ACLU and to the Two Spirit office that just opened, because I see Barrios and I go, we need to go to the hoka store, because my sister said, because I stand on my feet and work 12 hours a day, I need to get a pair of these hokas. So anyway, we went there, and we were there for hours just shopping, and I bought 3 pair of hokas, he bought 2 pair, and then David bought a pair. Now they're going to go in halves and buy our other relative a pair. That's friendship. And so just think about, when you go shopping together, whether you shop at the secondhand store, shop wherever together, we just have so much fun. And so I'm gonna head towards Rocky Boy, and there's a lot of good stuff, you know, and then we'll be over at Bainbridge. So I guess there's 300 plus all coming together, and they're all, you know, clean and sober. They're all working on their culture. They're all relearned their language. They're all relearned their songs, or they already knew them, and then they didn't have shame. And they'll be coming together in celebration. So I think I'm gonna wind down, head back up, you know, and right here I always, this is like a Babylonian, I always still have to come out with protection that I wear on my side hip here, because there are bears out, and I always pray to these bears, you know, and I always put out tobacco, and even the wolves, I put tobacco in their prints, and I say to them, sometimes telepathically, I say, you know, I won't hurt you, don't hurt us. I will protect you, don't hurt us. When I take that first Sabbathberry that's ripe, I reenact the friendship between us and Kiao and Boxikwe. I pray with it. I pray for the bears to have plenty to eat, that they to hibernate good, and I reignite that friendship vow between Blackfeet and bears. And then you put that berry out. That's why you use one berry in all the ceremonies. I wish I had a berry right now, but I have some in a jar. So, and then it reignites it, and they don't harm you. Do no harm. Do no harm. That's the agreement, you know, with those berries. And so I was just thinking, you know, even when we were little, you know, they say to take a little piece of your winter clothing, take a little piece, something you wore all winter, say a prayer and put it in fast moving water, and then you'll have nothing bad happen with the water. You won't drown in the flood. Nothing bad will happen. No accidents in the water, because you made peace and you made friendship with the water, and you made you believe in that energy, that unseen energy, that, you know, you just pray to the goodness. And today, there's all kinds of dandelions. I'm going to eat some on the way back. Wilbur Fish used to say, just eat them raw. So I eat them. He said, we're like buffalo, just graze on them when they're in season. So I'm going to eat some dandelions. And so if you see me with a big old yellow mouth, eh? Anyway, that's hey, Trevor. It says my birthday in a few days. Woo! Hey, what size shoe he has? Oh my God, you're too funny, Trevor. So, and I hope to see you soon. And with that, they said it was supposed to be 50-mile-an-hour winds. Might be picking up right here. So it's just, you know, next thing you know, you see me going down the road and my braids are going like that, you know, it's Browning winds. So with that, I'll say Kitakito Matsuno and Kitsikakomen. I love you very much. And we hope to see you at the conference across the lake, July 4th. Chewing Black Bones. We're going to have some good doings over there, and you can come see right here. You can come get blew around. So with that, I'll say Kitakito Matsuno, and we'll see you next Wednesday.